Alright, well, hello to the Retro Sentai Wrap-Up, where we discuss some of the older seasons of Super Sentai. We started with Children's Sentai Jetman, now we are on Kyōryū Sentai Zyuranger. We tried starting the stream earlier, but Streamlabs decided that it was going to go live on the wrong live stream. And we tried like 3 times to go live, and it was still, for some reason, going to the wrong stream. So now it magically decided to work, so that's why we're here today. I am Bryce West. I am a editor for the Illuminerdi.com, and these are our other hosts. Wow.
Had to take them for a while to realize, hey, my mic is still muted. I have to unmute. But hi, I'm Ian, and I'm back. Wait, was I back? I don't know. I'm here, and I'm also here with this.
Oh
guy.
my God! You just hit me in the face.
Did I?
Yeah, you just hit. Here. Oh. You can barely see it.
Oh.
Yeah. So Ian and I live together now.
Yep.
So that's pretty crazy. So we're still trying to sort of work out the mic situation up in here. So kind of bear with us as we try to figure this out, because we're, like I said, like probably
inches away.
Yeah, we're like inches away from each other right now. So we're gonna figure this out. But welcome to the show, everybody. We're back. We've got episodes 14, 15, and 16 to cover, and then we're going to the Green Ranger arc. What? That's crazy. So Ian, I was wondering if you could start us off with episode 14.
Yes, episode 14, Become Small. A boy bullied. Oh yeah. But the synopsis is: a boy bullied by adults teams with an incompetent elf to shrink things in the magic bottles for research, including Dan and Boi. So it starts off in Bandora's castle, and apparently they're doing interviews, which I don't know if there's ever been an interview process that I've ever seen in Power 8. Like, not like, okay, like a formal interview,
like a suit and tie.
Yeah, like suit and tie interview or whatever. And so they're like, with Pleppercon using so many, like, putting out so many clay animations and like
Putty Con? Is that who you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what the heck the name is.
Yeah.
Put a gun?
Yeah.
Put a gun? And so he's like, I can't do everything by myself. I need some help. And so they interview a dwarf named Dun Dun, who like pulls stuff out of his bottle and like will come out. So like he had like a bear, a frog, and I don't know what the other one was, like out of the bottle. And Bandora's like, no, that's awful. That will cheer up children. We want to be evil to children. And he's like, well, I'm sorry. And so they kick him out or whatever to do some training. Meanwhile, this kid and his mother is grabbing the kid by the ear. And so Dan and Boi are like, see them going to school, and they're like, what's the matter? Why are you grabbing onto his ear? And the mother goes, well, he didn't do his homework, and he's just not good in class. So
no son of mine.
Yeah, no son of mine. So they go into school, and then so the kid gets then yelled at by his teacher, and then he goes outside for some odd reason by himself. By the way, with no adult supervision, and so then Dun Dun falls, and then he's just like, well, I'm in training too, everybody yells at me. And the kid's like, well, everybody yells at me as well. And so they're like, really? We have so much in common. Let's be friends. And so you're like, okay. And so then Don Don's like, here, I'll show you what I can do with this bottle. And he opens the bottle up and he takes, what does he take? Oh, he takes a motorcycle first and traps it inside the bottle. So like a full-on like real motorcycle, like full-fledged out, gets shrunk and then put into the bottle. And so then the kid's like, wow, this is so great. And so then they start doing like a train and an airplane and then eventually the Tokyo Tower and all that.
So
Yeah.
I got a question. So like there was a scene where like there's this like flying ship in the sky. Like what happened there? Like what? Like you know what I'm talking about?
Flying ship in the sky.
Like there was something like flying in the sky, right? And then it was just like what the hell is that? You remember?
No, I don't.
Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I remember there being like a flying ship in the sky, and there was like no explanation as to like what that was or how that got there. Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea.
Anywho, here, let me try to pull up the episode, maybe.
Yeah, that's it. So, anyway, Boy and Dan are like, you know, everything is going away and all that. And so then they finally catch up to the boy and Don Don. Well, the kid boy, I gotta, it's weird because we have a character named Boy and I keep saying, oh, it's a kid, the kid boy. So I think I just might have to put kid instead. Jeez. But I'll just have to use the kid. Every single episode. Right. And so they're telling the kid and Don Don like, hey, stuff is going away. You know, there are people in there. And they're like, oh no, we didn't want to do that. And so they, you know, they take stuff out of the bottle and free everything up. And they're like, and then, you know, I think it was Dan who kept yelling and whatever. And so, like, they try and flee. And so they then chase him with a car, which, you know, being stuck there for thousands of years in sleep, didn't know they could drive a car. And oh yeah, that is true. Yeah, that's true. And so, and then the kid's telling Dono like, hey, they're catching up. And so they then capture Dan and Boy with the car in another bottle. And so they're like, hey, let us out. And they're like, no, because you're yelling at us, we won't do it. And so then, you know, they're like, oh no, everything's not right. And so then Bandora sends...
Right here.
What?
Look at the... Okay. There's a flying ship in the sky.
Oh, yeah, because they... Okay, now I see what you're talking about. Because they captured the ship in the bottle. That's why.
But why is it flying in the sky?
Because it was... Okay, so... Because it was in the water, and then, like, it was suctioned out, so that it was flying towards them to be put into the bottle. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it is. It is.
By the way, real quick, we have Edward Sanchez and Donnie Pearson in the chat. What's going on, fellas? Happy Power Rangers Day.
Hey. And so, this Gryffindor, Telepath, and Bookback were all sent down to try and steal the bottle that Dan and Boy are trapped in. And then finally, Geki, Goushi, and May finally come in, and I believe they open the bottle? I don't know if they... Yes, I think they open the bottle, but not before, like, oh no, the bottle's stuck on a track. Whatever will we do? I don't know. How about we just walk over there, pick it up, and then open the bottle? So...
That's some big brain thinking right there.
No, it gets even... It gets even weirder. So after that plan failed, the kid and Don Don are walking out, and Bandora shows up, and they're like, "We hate the adults," and they're like, "Yeah, us too," and they're like, "We want you to like get rid of all the adults," and they're like, "Yeah," and so she grows not only Don Don but also the kid. Like,
that was the best part of the episode.
What?
because it's funny as hell.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's hilarious. Yeah, and he's like stomping around.
Yeah, the elf. Yeah. And so then they just like start stomping around, and finally they get, the Rangers get into Daizujin, and they're like, we need to stop and all that, and then they get trapped in a bottle, and then they're, you know, then all of a sudden the kid's mother shows up, who is like berating him still. And
yeah, she's still yelling at him.
Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You need to stop. Yeah. Yeah. You serious? Correct. And then the mother, like looking at it, is just like, oh yeah, with
I forgot.
I forgot. And my son is now like a giant, as tall as a skyscraper. Yeah, I should stop berating him and be like, I love you. I understand you make mistakes. Just come home. And so then they release the Daizujin from the bottle, and then they all go back to normal size for some odd reason. I don't know why else. And then it ends with this like sunset walk of the elf Don Don, like, hey, I'm gonna go back to the woods to be a better sculptor. And then Genki's like, hey, don't make any Dora monsters. Like, dude, he wasn't gonna make any Dora monsters. Like, he made. Oh. Okay, well, it didn't.
Wasn't a funny one.
It wasn't a funny one. And so then, like, to end it, like, the dwarf or the elf Don Don gives the kid a statue of Daizu Jin, and I'm thinking, oh, please don't let that come to life. That was literally the first thing that popped in my head was, please don't let it come back to life. And then it leaves, and then he's like, okay, and don't forget to do your homework. And the kid's like, yeah, and then sheds a tear. I'm like, really? You're going to be emotional about an elf that you met the same day, who had you go on this weird, wacky adventure, and now you're going to be, crying because he's going to leave, even though you will probably be traumatized for the rest of your life because of this. No monster was destroyed.
How'd it go in Mighty Morphin? Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, well, what are our thoughts? 5 out of 5 for the giant monster kid. I thought it was funny. I think it was alright. I mean, it wasn't like anything like the trash episode or whatever of Jetman.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
Yeah. I mean, it could be worse.
I mean, I kind of agree with both of you. Like, it had some funny moments. I really like the idea of like putting stuff into a bottle and like shrink them down, kind of like Brainiac in the DC universe. I think, yeah. So I was like, I was like, oh man, that's really cool. But it was just like the villain wasn't really right. Of course, you always have to have a kid because it's Zyuranger, and it was just like, what was really the moral of the story is listen to your parents. I mean,
I think it was for the parents. I think it was more don't berate your kids to the point that they want to stomp on you and, and like grow giant size.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I'm glad that all of us really enjoyed this episode. I think on to episode 15, the dark super sword. And this is basically a surprise. It's another kid focused episode where Goushi is trying to teach courage to this boy because he's always being bullied. And then Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I do agree. So we did get a little bit of stuff with Goushi, but anyway, so basically the whole plot of the episode is that it was oddly specific, the criteria for this, but I guess Bandora needed this kid to unlock the dark super sword for this ancient warrior to use, and that's kind of like, yeah, right. So I mean, it was I don't know. It was there. I can't remember what the exact criteria was, but it was very specific. This has to happen. This has to happen. There has to be a full moon, and this has to happen. So I guess this kid is like the perfect choice or whatever. And so this kid also has a sister who's like super overprotective. She's kind of like is the one that stands up for him. And Goushi is able to relate to this because his sister died for him back like 60 million years ago or whatever it was during this battle, and Goushi always looked up to his big sister, and so he kind of bonds with these kids because of the relationship he had with his sister. And I will give it that they actually related the kids to the characters in a clever way. Now, I like this. Like it kind of like, in Jetman, if there was a kid, there was a purpose for the kid to be there. I think in this episode, we actually had a purpose for the kid that related to the Rangers, or at least a Ranger, Goushi. And I actually really like the use of the kid in this episode. I thought that was really... You didn't like it?
No, mainly because whenever, it was kind of the end point is what I was really not liking about it, because it was like the kid, I'm going to run out in the middle of the field for no reason, and this guy's going to try and shot me. Oh, wait, he can't, because apparently the kid, while in the middle of the night, was apparently banging on a sword to try and awaken him, and then there was just like, Zyuranger's like, I have an idea, let's bring the kid into the cockpit. That will be traumatizing.
Is this the one with the TV?
Yes.
Is that the next episode?
The TV where they jump through?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, you remember that? Like they're like, oh no, what do we do? Well, first of all, I was just like, how about you just go outside, go to where Goushi is, and help him? But then Geki goes, I know, we'll jump into the TV. It's like, what? Like, what does that even mean? Like, like what was that? Like, I don't know. Like, yeah. I mean, I watched them like a few weeks ago, and like I was just like, they're just like standing there looking at the TV because I guess Bandora was like broadcasting it to the house that the kid lived in or whatever, and they're like, oh no, how are we gonna get to Goushi? What are we gonna do? And Geki's like, I know, the most obvious choice is to jump through the TV, and at that point I audibly went, what the hell? Like, what was that? I don't know, and then they defeat like the night guy or whatever, because the night guy was fighting Goushi, and I will say this: during that fight, Goshi's stunt double clearly looks absolutely nothing like Goushi. I don't know if you two noticed this, but like his
no, neither did I.
His stunt double, his hair is like down to his neck almost, whereas like Goushi has like curly hair, like short. And it was like completely a different guy, like it wasn't even close. But the they fight the guy. There might have been a Megazord battle. I don't know. That's kind of whenever I stopped watching.
Because.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. 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 Well, I think Zyuranger standards, like, this isn't just like in general Super Sentai standards, but I think Zyuranger standards, I think this is a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah.
That's a freaking first. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think we're gonna move on to the next episode now, which is episode 16. The sneeze plot. Is that what it?
The Great Sneeze Plot.
Yeah. So Blackwing, you got that one? Oh well. Sorry about that.
Good job, Bryce. Don't worry, I'll help out. Yep. Water. It was water. Water was the weakness. Water. Yeah.
It's a giant sneezing monster. The plot doesn't matter. Apparently, can't hear Blackwing.
I'm not muted.
How about now? Can you hear him?
Are you sure? Because I wasn't muted. Cause I
like
was,
there. Yeah.
Here, keep talking, and I'll check.
But other than that, just I forgot how the Zyurangers defeated the monster. I just knew. All I just remember is that the monster was like this kind of tree-looking thing, and they defeat him. Megazord battle style, yada yada yada. Episode.
Actually, no Megazord. There was
There
no
was
Megazord.
Are you sure?
Because they were like, oh, his weakness is water, and so they grappled him into.
Oh wait,
like,
they
a
froze.
pond.
They
froze him.
now it's coming back to me. Yeah, it
Yep.
was just strictly the Zords. Like the Zords, they used the Zoo Mammoth to freeze the monster. Triceratops was holding it so that way it won't move, and then Geki used his Tyrannosaurus to do his Godzilla atomic blast kind of attack, and then monster destroyed. So like, oh yeah,
been doing all kinds of weird stuff today.
Yeah.
Like Blackwing was muted, but I fixed it.
Okay.
So I have no idea what the hell. So yeah, Blackwing, everything you said, nobody heard the whole episode.
I guess my rant was pointless.
That's right. I don't think it makes a difference because I don't think his opinions would change. I think it would just be him ranting the whole time.
My rant was pointless.
Well, it's a good thing that you had the final episode. So.
Oh yeah.
Yes, because again, this. I mean, okay, I found it cool how they used the Zords to take this monster down instead of using Daizujin as main course. But seeing the Zords take the monster down was kind of interesting because we usually don't see that many. Well, technically, I mean, we did. We saw that with Jetman, with them using the jet machines to take down monsters down and everything. But it was actually cool to see it strictly here in Zyuranger because when the first Zord showed up, it was just Geki's Tyrannosaurus until the other Zords showed up, and then they were able to form, Dino Tanker and then Daizujin. So, but other than that, this episode was still not for me. Because again, of course, this show is pretty much, it's a way to keep, to make it relatable for the kids who are watching it at the time, because a kid is the central plot point in each episode. So I guess that's the relatable factor for the audience. But yeah, that's all I got to say.
Alrighty. Well, I do think we should round out the episode since it is National Power Rangers Day. Kind of with some of our, since obviously Power Rangers derives from Super Sentai. We're talking about the season that brought us Power Rangers. I think maybe we should give like some of our favorite Power Ranger moments over the past what is it, 29
28 years.
28 years.
28 years. So
I like how you're looking to Ian, and
Yeah,
it's just,
we keep looking at each other, and I'm trying to tell myself like, don't look over there because it's just audience is just gonna be like, okay, where is he going?
I'll have to move Ian. I'll move Ian to where Blackwing is, and then Blackwing down to where Ian is, and then it'll look right.
I just find it funny because it's like you two are in like a press box. I mean, you know how during sports events those commentators and just like you look like, isn't it crazy how that player pulled a move like that? Like, yes, you would think he wouldn't pull something like this.
Yes.
That's exactly what it feels like right now.
So Blackwing, since you're talking smack, let's start with you. What are some of your favorite moments from the past 28 years?
Best 28. Best 28. I'll give my 5 favorite.
I gave your top 28.
Like one from each season. Yeah. All right. I'll give my top 5 favorite moments from Power Rangers. Forever Red, hands down. That was like a once in a lifetime team up. We're never gonna get that again. I mean, people can beg and plead, but trust me, there's no way we're gonna get something like that again. Some things are just once in a lifetime. Tommy fighting his past Ranger forms. That was an amazing episode. Fighting Spirit. That was really great. There's so many. Oh, Wes giving Eric the reality check in the end of Time Force, because I find that speech or that that talk just very. It feels very, because Time Force. A lot of people don't know Time Force was actually nominated for an Emmy. It didn't win, but that just seeing the acting right there with Jason Fong, I'm like, that is like Emmy worthy acting right there, especially for a kid
too, right?
Say that again.
It almost got a movie.
Yes, it almost got a movie, but Saban got bankrupt at the time, so. That's moment 3. Moment number 4. Sky becoming the Red Ranger in SPD. I love that. Was a really beautiful moment. I really love that. And number 5. Number 5. Leo's battle with Trakina in the end of Lost Galaxy, since that was like a one-on-one fight, and that was actually a really, really great fight. Like, defeated Trakina at point blank, shot Trakina at point blank range, and still survived.
Yeah. Alrighty, Ian. What about you?
Well, of course, one of them has to be, the Power Rangers was my childhood growing up. Starting out with Dino Thunder, SPD, Mystic Force. I mean, those were basically the ones that I started with. I mean, I am even going back and watching Dino Thunder now, and I'm like it brings back so many memories of just me being a child. Kind of my second favorite moment is, seeing recommendations. Bryce recommended me RPM years ago. And I was like, and I was so skeptical. I was like, Power Rangers RPM? I was like, I don't understand it. Like, because all I know was the theme song. And it was like, I don't think that's really right for me. And then I watched it. I was like, oh, I see what's going on.
Theme song sucks.
Oh, yeah, it does.
But I don't even have that theme song in my playlist when I'm listening to Power Rangers.
Have you heard the demo, though?
Yes.
I did. I heard some of the demos.
The demo... If they had made the demo the theme song, that would be the best Power Rangers theme song. But they didn't. Like, the demo is so good.
Have y'all heard the Ron Wiseman version of the Mystic Force theme song?
Yeah, I have.
I don't think I have.
Totally different from the one that we got. Very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Third ones definitely have to be, me going back and watching the team up. So watching Forever Red. Once a Ranger. I know the Legendary Battle wasn't great, but it was still nice to see like the future or the past Rangers coming back. And then I was excited for Dimensions in Danger, even though it was a big letdown. I was, still excited because
That was a good one.
it was decent.
It was
decent.
Decent is the word I would use. Decent.
Right.
It was better than I thought it would be. Let's say that much. It was Super Ninja Steel.
Yeah.
Like they had to cut the plot for Super Ninja Steel just for this one episode. Like,
yeah, right.
Like we're gonna stop your plot line for a second because we got some special guests coming in.
Yeah. What is the plot line for Super Ninja Steel? Like
there isn't one.
No.
Madame Odious wants Super Ninja Steel to create more. She just wants to rule the earth, I guess. Whatever. Oh wait, and she still wants the Ninja Power Stars. What else is new?
Yeah, whatever.
What am I at? I'm at 4? I think I'm at
Maybe
4 or 5. I have no idea. I've been rambling on.
Yeah, 4. You're on moment 4. Moment 4.
I'm on moment 4.
Yeah.
Probably actually like going back to Power Rangers because I took a break between halfway through Overdrive and then get back until Samurai. So that's why I never watched Jungle Fury and RPM and the rest of Operation Overdrive because I couldn't watch it anymore. So then going back into Samurai, it was like, oh man, it's a childhood. My childhood is back. And, going through all that again, even so, those were really big letdowns. So Super Mega Force. But, man, like, and just number 5 is just looking back. Like, I just can't believe, like, 28 years it's been doing this, and every single time it's like a different story. Most of the time it's a different team, and it's just like, how are you able to have that continuity?
most of the time you don't.
True. It's just like, how are they able to keep it up for that many years and still have fans even older than us still watching the series? So
Okay, so my top 5. I don't know. I know what my number 1 is, but like 5 through 4, they could be kind of interchangeable. So I'm just gonna kind of list some of my favorite moments. One of them I share with Blackwing is Sky becoming the Red Ranger, and that whole episode with the monster that killed Sky's dad. That episode was freaking insane. I love that so much. Another one, RJ becoming the Wolf Ranger. That was a really cool arc. That was a really good moment. I remember to this day, 2009 March, whenever RPM came out. Like, I remember sitting there at the TV watching it, and my jaw like to the floor, like how the hell is this Power Rangers? What the hell am I watching?
Man,
that was insane.
I wish I got to experience RPM in its heyday. I tried to, but I'll explain why, because my experience with RPM is different than everybody else's.
Yeah. So I'm on 3. So, and then number 2 would be, what would that be? I think whenever I loved Mystic Force as a kid, so whenever Korag became the Wolf Warrior, the red version, I thought that was really cool. Also, whenever Nick became Korag, I thought that was really cool.
That was a good moment.
That was a good episode.
And number 1, this is my definitive number 1 moment. When Boom became the Orange Ranger.
That's the funniest moment. That is the most odd number 1 favorite moment in Power Rangers I never thought someone would say.
That is, this isn't a joke. This is my number 1 favorite moment as a kid. Holy crap! Like, I know it's a freaking dream. Don't at me, but like, that was my number 1. Like holy crap! There's an Orange Ranger. Like, this is insane, because obviously that had never happened before.
Right.
And so, I mean, I remember, like, as a kid, like I would, I'm sure pretty much all of us had probably had dreams of becoming a Power Ranger. My dreams, I became the Orange Ranger, because that meant I was the Orange Ranger, right? There was no other Orange Ranger. It was me. So that was the Ranger color I always wanted to be. And so whenever Boom became the Orange Ranger in Power Rangers SPD, again, I know it was a freaking dream, okay? But they shot that footage. There's an
It
Orange
was
Ranger.
still a good sequence. It was still a great sequence.
It was still a good scene.
Yeah, I love it.
I remember the promo for that episode when it came out. I was like, an Orange Ranger? Are we getting an Orange Ranger? Are you? And then you find out, like, oh, it's just a dream. Oh.
I don't care. I go back and watch that scene like all the time. Oh, I forgot one. I have to have an honorable mention. No one gets inside.
Okay. I'm very 50-50 on that one because I thought it was kind of cheesy, but as you know, you hear the emphasis of it and the meaning behind it. I'm like, you know what? It's actually a pretty solid phrase.
And then they immediately get inside the circle.
Oh yeah, and then no, my favorite one is because Jason David Frank wasn't able to voice Dr. Oliver.
Oh yeah.
So just Jeffrey Frank, yeah. And so you would hear, no one gets inside. And then someone would say, no one gets inside. And it's Jeffrey Frank again, no one gets inside. And it's the exact same line, like the exact same tone and everything. So just like
Trent's actor voicing himself and Tommy at the same time. I'm just like,
oh, another honorable mention is whenever Bridge becomes the Red Ranger.
Oh, when he explained to the Overdrive Rangers, like, oh, but in the future, I'm gonna be the Green Ranger, but you're wearing red. Oh, yeah, see, because after our leader Jack, he retired, then Sky became red, and then our commander, who is a dog, and Adam looked at him like, oh, what?
Oh yeah, I love that part. Our commander, who is a dog, and everybody's just like, okay, this went off the rails fast.
And then talking about because Commander Birdie moved to Miami, yada yada yada. I'm like, wait, what? It's Bridge explanation, and Dax was like, sounds good to me. I'm like, like Dax, anything makes sense to you.
That was a great moment.
Oh yeah.
But I'll explain my reasoning with RPM because Jungle Fury was the last season that aired on Jetix, and then there's the promotion about Disney XD's coming soon. And I'm thinking Power Rangers probably will continue on Disney XD. Sadly, it didn't. So when Jungle Fury ended, when a season's about to conclude or when it's on its final bits of episodes, we get the teaser trailer for the next upcoming season. We didn't get that with RPM, so I'm just like, no Power Rangers.
They wanted it to die. That's what. Yeah.
And then
Disney was trying to kill the show.
Yeah, and
that's why they put it on ABC.
Yeah, and then I found out about RPM through a toy commercial when they were promoting some of the toys. I was like, Power Rangers RPM, like it's still on? And I even remember my mom was asking me like, so I guess Power Rangers isn't on no more. I'm like, I was like, I don't know, I couldn't find it. And of course, like I said, with the commercial, I found that out. So I'm just like, so when does Power Rangers RPM come on? So I had to backtrack. So like, it's not on ABC Family, it's not on Toon Disney, ABC Kids. So and I was able to see the first episode of RPM that I watched was the Ranger Yellow episode with Summer where she was about to get married. That was the first.
Dude, that's a dark episode.
No, it was the episode where really? No.
Yeah, that's the one where the butler dies.
No, the second one. She's about to marry the dude, but they make this whole trap of let Dr. K be the bride in disguise, and they fight off Tanaya 7.
The one where the butler died.
That was Ranger Yellow. I think it was like the first issue.
Yeah, it was in part 1. I was in part 1.
Yeah, it was part 1.
Gotcha.
We were in part 2.
Part 2 was, so I was like, oh, so I don't know who these characters are. I don't know. I mean, I obviously figured out that Summer was yellow, but I didn't know which fellow was, red or blue or green or black. So I was just like, oh, well. So
probably one of my favorite morphs in that episode. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but because, I think Dr. K gets kidnapped. And so Summer's like, all right, I'm ready to go. And she has her morpher out. And all the guys are like, where's our morphers? And so they're like, okay, let me go find them real quick. And they're like, ready. And then they go.
But yeah, I wish I had that same, experience of RPM like everybody else did. It's just, Disney never.
Most people did it because they put it on ABC.
Yeah,
they put it on ABC, and I couldn't find it, and I didn't watch. The first time I actually watched the whole season from beginning to end was 2 years ago when it was back on Netflix. Like I tried many times to watch the season, and it's just like. I can't keep going. I don't know what it is. It's not pulling me in. And then 2 years ago, I actually finished the whole season. I was like, okay, I can see why people love this season so much.
Yeah.
So,
well, guys, I mean, this was before smartphones, so we couldn't like easily look it up.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I was like a legit, like as a kid, I guess still am. I was obsessed with Power Rangers. I would religiously go on the Linear Ranger blog page and look at all the information and stuff. And so I knew what the hell was going on. I knew when the 2010 reversion was coming out. I knew whenever Saban bought the franchise back, like the day it happened. Like so I'm like the exception. Everybody else as a kid, like whenever I go to school and say, yeah, I watch Power Rangers, they go like, is that still on? Because I mean they were trying to kill the show. I mean, Disney was done with the show, and so they put it on some network, didn't tell anybody, and then that was it. So
yeah, especially with the reversion. When I saw that MMPR was on TV, I was like, wait, why? I didn't know it was a reversion. I thought it was just MMPR. So I didn't know it was like they added all those effects and everything. So I was just like, oh, I guess there's no episode. I guess Power Rangers is done now. And then I remember one day I go on PowerRangers.com. I see the teaser image of Power Rangers Samurai. I'm like, oh, shoot. I'm like, Power Rangers is back. It's back.
it was gone for like a whole year.
Yeah, a whole year without Power Rangers. And like around that time, I was watching anime. I was watching DC. I was watching superhero cartoons, sticking strictly to superhero cartoons. I was like, I felt done with Power Rangers. And then Samurai comes into the picture. I'm like, Power Rangers are back. Hooray.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember because Dino Thunder was my first one. I was like, because I thought it was the first one, like in general, because I'd never heard of anyone else. Of course, I was like, when was I? 10 or 11 years old, whenever I realized, hey, there's past seasons, because I found Ninja Storm on Nicktoons. I was like, what the heck? Like, I've never heard of Ninja Storm.
So wait a minute. Hold on. What did you think whenever Dino Thunder teamed up with Ninja Storm? Because that happens in Dino Thunder.
Yes, I know that, but you realize
there's a whole video diary that explains the whole franchise up to that point, and then you get a team up with Ninja Storm.
I was 5 years old whenever I watched the series. You think I understand that? No, I was 5 years old. I didn't realize until like 5 years later. I was like, oh, hey, there's past ones from Dino Thunder.
Wait a minute, they showed older seasons on Jetix. Like, they showed Turbo a lot. They showed Lightspeed a lot.
I don't know if I actually watched those or not. I don't know.
I know I did.
I watched Turbo a lot on Jetix.
Yeah.
That was like around the time when I was watching. Yeah, Turbo had reruns on Jetix, and I was that's where I also first saw the Phantom Ranger stuff and everything. So I was kind of pretty much well aware of, like, you know, some of the stuff that happened. I mean, I didn't watch it completely, but I still know the important stuff.
Yeah, I think it was because whenever I was like 8 years old or whatever, I was just like, I'm done with cartoons. You know, I was kind of like old enough to say, and you're like, no, I'm done. Because it was like halfway through Overdrive. I was like, I'm kind of done watching like cartoons and stuff. So it would be like watching older stuff, you know. Like there'll still be stuff on Cartoon Network that I would watch. But other than that, like watching like kids shows would just slowly deteriorate as I got older. And so like I didn't watch a lot of stuff from Disney Channel and gosh, even like 2009, 2010. Besides, you know, like Phineas and Ferb.
That was me. You and me are the opposite. That's what I was doing. I was just watching stuff on Disney Channel. That was me.
Well,
Me too.
Well, I'm the youngest, so it was kind of like, I think I probably need to grow up a bit faster, so that way my family is like, oh my gosh, when are you gonna grow out of this? I'm like, I can do it now.
Yo, I'm the oldest, and like whenever my sister Paige started like being old enough to like watch like older shows or whatever, I would show her Power
adult cartoons,
and like me and my sister Paige would watch Power Rangers. You know? And she's my youngest sister. We're like 6 years apart.
Yeah, well, that's. I usually I like to get my, you know, I always like to explain my experience with RPM because I know some people's experiences are different than others. So, but
Donnie Pearson says, "Man, I miss watching Cartoon Network or any other cable network. I hope to get Xfinity TV again in the near future. Either that or I would switch to YouTube TV." Yeah, I mean, there's still like quite a few good things on live TV. I don't have a use for it. But I can definitely understand why people would still
Cable,
want.
yeah,
That.
Cable's dead, but people are still, but people are still, people still stick with it.
Well, on that note, I think we're going to wrap up things here on the Retro Sentai wrap up. Thank you so much for joining in on today's episode. Next time you see us, we will be talking about the Green Ranger arc in Kyōryū Sentai Zyuranger, one of the probably the only good ones, right, Blackwing?
Yeah, and of course, when I guess the next batch of good episodes, I guess there's a few kind of deals with the whole kind of deals with Titanus before like
Okay.
Titanus shows up, and when of course when Barai gets
Alrighty. Well, that wraps things up here on the Retro Sentai Wrap Up. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Illuminerdi to be notified of everything coming onto the channel here in the near future. Also, follow us on social media. We're breaking a lot of news, not just Power Rangers, Marvel, DC, everything. So definitely be sure to follow us on Twitter to be on or Facebook. Instagram, anything to be notified of what's going on here in the geekdom world. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time with the Green with Evil arc. Thank you for watching.
peace out.